So last week I tried fish and chips from the biggest fish and chip shop here in the UK. But this week I'm going to be trying fish and chips from probably the most iconic chip shop here in the UK. And what better place to come than sunny Blackpool? Now you're probably wondering what place I'm talking about. Well, let's go find it and I'll show you. So right now I am under the Blackpool Tower, where it sounds like they're doing some renovation work. But if you go down and to the left, there is a place called Ramsden, which is probably the most famous fish and chip shop chain here in the UK. I think they started serving fish and chips maybe in the 1920s, so probably about 100 years. And they used to have locations all over the UK. But right now, I think there's only about 10 or so left. And this one here in Blackpool being one of them. So let's head in, check it out. Right, and I've made it inside. And I've got myself this nice little booth. But let me give you a look at what the inside of this place is like. So this is what the inside looks like. We've got various booths, an open kitchen there where you can see people making your food, and then loads of seating and this fancy looking wooden theme design with I think space for about 200 people. So a pretty big restaurant. Right, let's check out the menu. Okay, so this is the menu. Harry Ramsden's fish and chips. So looking on this side, first you've got the starters and shares. So the classic sort of things like chicken wings, prawn cocktail. Got different mains like cod burger, halloumi burger, salads, and then the main event, the fish and chips. I think this must be the only thing people come here and get. But you've got the different sizes, small, regular, large. Got haddock and cod, and then some other things like scampi, batter sausages, and then your sides on this side where you've got your mushy peas, curry sauce, bread and butter, and so on. On the other side we've got some puddings. I think I'm definitely going to have space for pudding, so I'll probably be getting one of these later. But then you have your soft drinks, cocktails, even beers and teas as well. And the way you order is, I think you can order with the person that comes round to your table or through the QR code. But that is the menu. Okay, so food ordered, and I got myself a cup of tea. So let's make a quick drink before the food arrives. Get a nice, pretty big cup on teapot, and a nice little pot of milk too. Let's try this out and see what this tea is like. Pretty good. Okay, and my food has arrived, so check this out. I've got a massive meal. Let me give you a closer look at what I got. And this is it. So this is my fish and chips. I went with a medium haddock with chips. Got some mushy peas on the side, some tartare sauce and curry sauce too, plus some bread and butter for a fish and chip butty at the end. This is a nice looking meal. Let's dig in. Okay, so the first thing to do, I think, at any fish and chip shop or whenever you get fish and chips, is your salt and vinegar. And like I mentioned before, I do like quite a lot of it, so I'm going to go in with a lot of salt and vinegar all over the chips and the fish. Right, let's dig in. So the first thing I think I need to try is the chips. Now check these out. So nice and golden. They feel crispy on the outside. Let's just go straight in for a bite of this. So nice and soft and fluffy on the inside there. A nice potato sort of floury texture. The outside slightly crisp. It's a good chip. But this though is when chips really come alive, when you try them out with other sides. So first up, let's go in for the mushy peas and a chip dunked right in. This is going to be great. Oh, and it's come off. Let me go for another quick dunk. Right, this I think should be more than enough. Mushy peas, here it goes. So that is a good mushy peas. It's a little sort of runnier, not as thick as other places, but you do get a pea flavour. Whole peas in there as well, so you do get a bit of a bite. It's not bad. Okay, so next up, let's go in for some of this curry sauce. So check that out. So nice and thick. It's got little bits in it. A little bit of a lighter colour than I've seen at other places. But let's go for a bite and see what it's like. You know what? So that is a really good curry sauce. So I really like the flavour of that. So it's thick. You get the curry flavour. A slight kick, but I think this is a good one. Next up, let's move in for the tartare sauce. Check that out. So it looks creamy. You can see the herbs going through it. Let's see how it tastes. Okay, so this tartare sauce kind of tastes a bit garlicky. When I first had it, I thought it was like a garlic sauce, but it's fresh. You do get herbs in there, a strong garlic flavour I think. Not so much of any sort of sour gherkin, but it's not bad. Okay, now let's move on to the fish. So as I mentioned before, this is a medium haddock. Let's cut it in half and check out the fish in the middle. And let me bring it up to the camera so you can have a closer look. So you can see the inside there. Nice bit of fish, white colour. The batter on here I think is a little darker and golden brown than the other places that I've tried before, but it looks good nevertheless. Let's cut off a piece to try. Okay, so here it is. So you've got the fish there, lovely flakes, kind of golden brown batter with the salt and vinegar on. Let's go for a bite of this. Okay, so you get a good haddock flavour there. Nice big flakes that have a bit of a chew. The batter on the outside is a little crisp. You get that salt and vinegar flavour. It's a not bad bit of fish. Right, so here is the fish just on its own, just a bit of haddock, and it is pretty meaty. You get a bit of a more of a chew I think to this haddock than any other that I've had before. But let's go for a bite of just a haddock by itself. Okay, let me try and go in for some of the batter just on its own. So check that out. Like I said, a little bit more darker and golden brown than other places, but let's try it out. So it is crisp. You do get a crunch from it and a nice sort of oily fried flavour. It's good batter. I think though it's all about the combos. So let's try out this mushy peas and fish and chip combo. Here it goes. Let's try this out. So the mushy peas definitely helps bring the bite together. So I think the sort of mushiness and soft texture of the pea really does help it. Next up, let's try out the curry sauce. So fish chips in a curry sauce. Here it goes with this bite. So I am losing everything on each bite, but I really do like this curry sauce. Next up, the tartare sauce. So fish chip in tartare sauce. Here it goes. So this tartare sauce really does taste like a sort of garlic sauce. So I think there might be some dill in there, that's the herb. Maybe some sort of oniony flavour, like onion, garlic. But yeah, not bad though. I think it's time for a fish and chip butty. So you do get some fresh butter here. So let's get that spread on this piece of bread and we'll make a nice fish and chip sandwich out of it. Okay, so first up, let's add in some of the chips. Get a couple on there, and we'll break off some of the fish too and put that on. Here it goes, some of the fish on there too, and then we need to add this mushy peas. And let me give you a closer look at this fish and chip butty. So here it is, fish and chip butty. Check that out, got the mushy peas in there, the chips and the fish. Can't wait to go for a bite of this, so let's do it. So that was a delicious bite, but I think maybe slightly on the dry side, and it needs some curry sauce drizzled all over the top. Now I think this is going to make it the ultimate bite. So that was an awesome bite of food. Like I said before, I think this curry sauce is a really good one because it's a little sweet, it's a little spicy, a little salty, you get that curry flavour, and it's just right for each of those factors. Right, let me finish up this meal and I'll probably get some dessert. So did I have enough room for dessert? Well, I definitely did. So check this out, I've got a chocolate fudge cake with some vanilla ice cream. Let's go for a taste of this. So first up, I think I'm going to go in for some of this vanilla ice cream. Let's get some of the chocolate sauce on it as well and go in for a bite. So nice and cold, you get that vanilla-y flavour, it just melts in your mouth, and a bit of that chocolatiness too. Next up, let's try out this chocolate fudge cake. Now this looks really rich and indulgent, so check that out. Look how dark that is. So this is a really dark chocolate cake. Let's try it and see what it tastes like. Okay, yeah, so this is, like I mentioned, or like I suspected, a really indulgent, rich chocolate cake. Really strong chocolatey cocoa flavour. It's sweet as well. You get that chocolate sauce on the outside. It's a good dessert. But let's eat it how it's meant to be enjoyed. So you've got the chocolate cake with the ice cream. Here it goes. Okay. So you do have an option to go with custard or ice cream, but you know what, I think it works well with the ice cream because you get the hot and the cold temperatures combined. You get the hot chocolate fudge cake with the melty chocolate, you get the ice cream which is cold and smooth, and it just combines really well. Okay, let me finish up this delicious dessert and I'll join you outside where I'll give you a roundup of the costs I've spent on this meal. So that was fish and chips from the famous Harry Ramsden. What did you think? Comment down below. I think the standout points for me were the batter on the fish was good, and the curry sauce too, and also the chocolate fudge cake for dessert. That was really rich and indulgent. Anyway, let me give you a rundown of the cost of that meal. Okay, so my medium haddock and chips with a side and tartare sauce cost £15.99. My curry sauce on its own was £2.49, and my bread and butter was £1.09. And then my pot of tea, that was £2.59, and my really indulgent chocolate fudge dessert, that was £6.19. So altogether £28.35, which
I don't think it's too bad. So what did you think of that fish and chips? And how did it compare with the biggest chip shop in the world last week? Comment down below your thoughts. I think for me, it was slightly more expensive here, which, being Blackpool, I think that's probably going to be normal because it's a bit more of a bigger tourist attraction. And also the size of the fish, that was a bit of a surprise too. For a medium, I thought the fish would be a little bit bigger. Like I said, comment down below your thoughts and how it compares to last week at the biggest fish and chip shop in the world. And if you like fish and chips, click on the thumbs up icon below and click on subscribe too. And I'll see you in the next one.